Hey everybody, today's video is an updated impression video of my 3rd Infantry Division Operation Iraqi Freedom 1 impression. This is the 3rd video I've done of this impression so far, and each one has progressively gotten better with as far as gear. However, the last one I did, which was in November of 2020, it was not the greatest quality-wise as far as the quality of the video goes. Like the lighting was garbage and it was kind of hard to follow, so I recently took that video down and I decided it was time to do another video, an updated video of this impression. So here it is. This is for a combat engineer of B Company of the 11th Engineer Battalion, which at the time of March in April 2003 was attached to Task Force 27 of the 3rd Infantry Division. So let's get into it. Up here is the standard desert combat uniform. Here we have our boonie, a very common item at this time. Here's the DCU shirt. The only thing wrong with it is the fact that it has the combat patch. That's something that probably would have been put on after they got back from this deployment. So after Operation Iraqi Freedom 1, that's something that probably would have been put on. So that wasn't worn during the actual invasion. So here's the shirt with the standard issue earplugs with the case. Here is the pants, of course. We have our standard brown t-shirt, which was used with all BDUs, as well as the black trouser belt. Here's my boots. These are the Ultima Type 2 hot weather boots with the Panama sole. The Vibram sole boots were not used yet at this time. You started to see those more in 2004. You see them a lot more frequently during the Second Battle of Fallujah, which was in November of 2004. So the Vibram sole boots were not seen at this time. Up here is the standard Pazgat helmet with a desert helmet cover with the 3rd Infantry Division patch. I also have the tan cat eye band. The OD ones were also used at this time. They were both very common. So yeah. Here is the NVG mount with the ratchet and strap. The whole idea behind the ratchet was so that you would be able to remove and put on the mount in a timely fashion, so you wouldn't have to worry about backing out a screw or putting a screw back in, to take it off if you weren't using the ratchet and strap. The ratchet was very common at this time. There's plenty of photographic evidence to prove its usage, so that's why I'm using that. Here is the infrared shim. This was a very common item at this time to have on helmets. This basically just let people, friendlies in aircraft who were using infrared technology, that there was friendlies on the ground. So you see this a lot at this time. Here's my interceptor vest. This particular vest is an April 2001 dated vest with the soft inserts and plates, as well as a manual. So this vest is complete. On my vest, I have 3 mag pouches. These particular mag pouches are part of the RACK system, RACK, which was an acronym which I can't for the life of me remember, but it was for a Ranger chest rig type deal. But these pouches were distributed to high priority units, which the 3rd Infantry Division was one of at this time. I should specify high priority Army units. The Marines didn't use these. But again, the 3rd Infantry Division was at the tip of the spear of the invasion, so they were, one of the ones that got these. Now, not everybody had these, but these were super common at this time, so that's why I'm running these. I have 3 of them, and in them, each one of them, I have 2 loaded mags, so that's as real as it gets. Above it, I have the LC1 bandage pouch with the bandage, and I also have a Ziploc bag with the casualty feeder card and the witness statement, which would have been for casualties and stuff, of course. I got this little bit of information, the fact that they put these cards in a Ziploc bag and then put them in with the bandage. That's a bit of information that I heard directly from a 3rd Infantry Division vet in the comments of one of my other videos. So that's why I have it the way I do, because I know that was 100% used. That method was used by guys in the 3rd Infantry Division. Next to it, I have a snap link or a carabiner clip, whichever you'd like to call it. This is an actual military issue one. It's made out of steel. It's not a commercial aluminum one. I see these steel ones a lot with combat engineers, and yeah. So that's why I have that. It's very well built. Next to it, I have the M9 bayonet. This was compatible with the M16 and M4 rifle and carbine. And I was also used with a shotgun at the time, but obviously I'm just using it for my M16, which I'll show later. This particular bayonet is a Frobus 3 M9. And yeah. So this was, like I said, this is the standard issue bayonet at the time. So that's why I have it on. Now next to the bayonet, I have a grenade pouch, a Molly grenade pouch, but I don't have a grenade in it. I use this for storing small items. And yeah. So on the back of the vest, I have 2 LC1 canteens with the cups and covers and everything. One of them has the NVC cap. This time in the early 2000s was a transitional period between Alice and LC1 gear to Molly gear, so you see a lot of it being used side by side in photographs and footage and stuff. So that's why I have the mixture that I do on my interceptor vest. Below it, I have the M40A1 gas mask, which was the standard gas mask at the time with the filter. And it came with the bag, of course, the carrier. Yeah. With this came a decon case. And it also came with the chemical agent detector paper, 2 tablets of it, 2 waterproof bags, the manual for the mask, some spare lens outserts, and some more decon kits. And then this right here is the JS list suit. This was the chemical suit at the time. It came in 3-color desert and woodland. However, with most units in the, or most forward units, I should say, combat units, most of them used the desert version. However, the woodland version was definitely seen. There's no doubt about that. The Marines used a lot of the woodland ones, and the Army used a lot more desert ones. So yeah, here's the jacket, and then I also have the pants in the back here below it. Down here I have the green rubber over boots, which were used at this time. Here is the butyl rubber gloves with the cotton liners, and underneath this I just have the chemical ensemble carrying bag, which I use to carry my chemical suit, or the articles of my chemical suit that I'm not wearing. Moving up here to some personal items, I have this is a neck gaiter. This is a super common item at this time, very popular with soldiers, because of the warmth it would provide, and how it gets cold in the desert, the Iraqi desert at night. So this was a very common and popular item with the soldiers. Here I have some cattle hide leather gloves. These are work gloves. Um, these are something that would have been more seen with engineers, so that's why I'm including them in this, because they're work gloves for engineer stuff. In a lot of pictures you see engineers with these hanging from their interceptor vests by a 550 cord, but in my case, I just stow them in the cargo pocket. Here is a Bible. This is a great example of a Bible that would have been distributed to soldiers that were over in Kuwait and Iraq. This one was actually given to somebody in 2006, a soldier. So that's really neat, something cool to have. If that's if that's something you value. Here is a tablet, a little tablet, and I have a ballpoint pen and a Sharpie. Some very common items for anybody to have, because you never know when you need to write something down. So here is an ROE card, Rules of Engagement. This is something that was given to everybody, kind of like, essentially like an insurance type thing, if you would want to call it that. It's the rules of engagement. It tells about what you can and cannot do in combat, regarding civilians and civilian property is what it's for. And coming into contact with the enemy, of course, also. So this is a reproduction made by me based off of an original example. Here is a roll of electrical tape. Electrical tape was common at this time and has been common for years before that. It probably still is common. Guys use it to tape up the excess straps on their gear and for pretty much anything else, really. And with this being an engineer impression, that's one of the reasons I have it. This could be used for work and stuff. Here is some sunglasses, just some sunglasses, a design that probably would have been popular in 2003. So that's why I have those. Here is your standard wristwatch. I have it. It's a standard black wristwatch, a digital watch. I have it set to Iraq time, so right now in Iraq it is 1:24 a.m. Here is some MRE toilet paper, something else that would have been very common to have in pockets because you need toilet paper. Here's some chapstick, however it's not chapstick brand. This is RV Paba. This is a reproduction made by me, but this RV Paba was commonly seen in IFAC kits, the ones that were issued in the 80s and 90s. But they weren't called IFACs until the 2000s, so. But regardless, I have that there because, you never know when you need that. Here's some 550 cord that I have, another common item because you never know when you need it. OD 550 cord, that is. Here's a wallet with an ID in it, and I have some, let me get it open a little bit here. I have some Kuwaiti money. If you can see it, there's some Kuwaiti money in there. Because of the amount of time that the division spent in Kuwait prior to the invasion. So that's why I have that. Onto my rifle. It is the standard M16A4 rifle, which was standard issue in the Army at this time. With combat units, that is. The A2 was still being used at this time also, but the A4 was the newest rifle, and it would have been issued. It was a common issue. It has your standard Knight's Armament rails, and I have rail covers with the vertical grip. I have a carry handle, iron sights. I don't have any optics. Optics probably would have been more of optics were used for combat engineers, of course, but they probably would have been more prioritized towards infantry units. So I'm running a carry handle. Plus, I like the way the carry handle looks. The sling I have on it is it's a Spectre gear sling. It mounts to the side. And it mounts like that. That was Spectre gear was a newer brand at the time. They started in 2000, but they did give a lot of gear to the military. So I have a Spectre gear sling on there, and I also have a Spectre gear buttstock mag pouch. The whole idea behind buttstock mag pouches, which they were very common at this time, the whole idea behind them was, on base, soldiers had to carry their rifles with them at all times. However, in garrison, they were not allowed to have a loaded mag in the rifle. So, if something went down, you had your rifle, but you had no mag because all your mags are with your gear. So the whole idea behind that was so that you could always have a loaded mag on the rifle at all times. When you were in garrison, you take it out and put it in the mag pouch. And yeah. And again, this is Spectre gear, which was a brand that was used at the time. So that's my rifle. And that's the whole impression. That's it. Again, this is for a combat engineer in B Company of the 11th Engineer Battalion, which B Company at this time was attached to 27, Task Force 27 of the 3rd Infantry Division. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.